we do. How is everyone? Thank you guys for coming out. It's been a few years since we've done this, and thank you very much for coming out and helping out with all of this. On behalf of the executive and everyone here, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank our bartender. And a big thank you for the women who put this supper on for you. And served it. There's one. There's one right there. They've done a wonderful job. Also, thank you for the volunteers in the lockup, making sure that nobody steals your gear. They may have gone through all the storage pockets and everything when you got room. They're doing an excellent job. They're not being antisocial. They just prefer to stay down there and sample all the instruments. Every year, we present an award. It's just an award thanking someone or for anything special they've done, for their contributions to not just the club, Bluegrass in general. And we call this thing the Attaboy. That's its nickname. And this year's winner is Mike Kirley. Yeah. Mike couldn't make it out tonight. He's a little under the weather, but his son has come up.
All right.
At this point, we're going to have a couple of people say a few words. So I'm going to introduce the man with two first names, Glenn George, to say a few words.
Hey everybody. So I got to say, firstly, it's pretty hard to stand up here tonight. Mike is a huge part of all this, and it hurts that he's not here. When I thought about making this club, it got kind of sidetracked and it went away for years. And then somehow in 2009, Mike Kirley and I crossed paths. And I believe it was at a little restaurant down in Preston. And I think maybe the fellow who designed our logo, Tim Kitchen, might have been doing something with a music thing down there. My memory is very foggy about it. But anyways, I told Mike, and I said, you know, we should start a bluegrass club. I said, I've got a bunch of friends here in Cambridge who'd probably help it out. And, you know, and he said, yeah, man, let's do it. So, yeah, in 2009, I think it was probably late September, we decided that we would hunt down some people and make this thing go. And here it is today, 14 years later, or 13 years later, and it's probably the best bluegrass club in Ontario. And Mike Kirley played a huge part in the start of this club. Mike ran the slow jam for years, and Mike, being a teacher, was the ultimate guy to run the slow jam. He loved the music, he loves to teach. So he has done such a hell of a job. Yeah. Give him a hand. So we're going to have a few more accolades about Mike. I'm going to call up Neil Cudney, who is one of our newest executive members, and he's going to tell you what Mike means to Neil and what Mike has done for him.
when Alan introduced me and invited me to come out to the Bluegrass Club back in 2010 or 11, Bluegrass was brand new to me. And when I came in dragging this new instrument that I had never laid hands on before, called a mandolin. Mike, you're the reason why I stuck with it. Your coaching, your mentoring, your encouraging. How many in this room, in that slow jam, have been mentored and encouraged and are doing what you're doing today because Mike Kirley encouraged you? How many of them? Mike, you led us through that slow jam with grace when grace wasn't deserved. You taught us jamming etiquette, and in the nicest way, you would get us to be quiet and quieten down while somebody was taking a lead, and no matter how bad I sounded or how any of us sounded at that time, you always said, "Great job." And you encouraged us to just keep stretching and pushing, and when it came time, you started pushing us out to begin to play in some of the groups that were playing around. I am, and I know that there are so many here in this place right now that are deeply in your debt for the love of bluegrass. You supplied music, you supplied CDs, the amount of work that you put into, and it was easy to tell when you came that you were prepared and you were ready to teach, and you led us with excellence. The one lesson that I probably will not take with me that you have taught is how to use your mandolin as a back wheel chalk. All other lessons we will retain. Michael, thank you so much for your commitment to this club, to all of us, and just sticking with it. Thank you, Mike.
We've got one more speaker we're going to bring up. I visited Mike a number of weeks ago, and he let me play his banjo. His prize. And he told me about this letter that one of our members sent him. Stephen Greenwell. A number of you may be familiar with this Mankey Scots git. But Mike specifically asked that this letter be read tonight. He didn't know about the award or anything. He just thought it was the greatest letter he's ever heard. And he asked that it would be read. And we've asked that its author read it. Now, while he's on his way up here, I should point out, there's some colorful language. There's some really colorful language that it's probably best
Said in a Scottish accent.
It's going to sound great. Anyway, to read this letter for us all is Stephen Greenwell.
Thanks for that. This was a private letter.
Still is.
Was a private letter.
He made sure to give me the unedited one.
Based on a lot of what Mr. Cudney was saying, and also falls back to what he said at Grace time tonight, and I couldn't have said any of it better myself. So Mike has the original, and he has this photocopy, so excuse me a second. So I'll try and read it, it's tiny, but here was my private letter to Mike going through hard times who we all miss. So it goes something like this. Dear Mike, obviously you've been going through the meat grinder lately, We've all been missing your cheeky smile and stupid so-called sense of humour down at the club. I just wanted to jot down a couple of things on paper. First of all, your presence has been missed, and we talk about it. A couple of weeks back, Jerry sang Blue Night and mentioned your name in your honour. Not as fast as you, obviously, and I don't think it was in B, but I thought it was very cool that he did that, and when he did, he mentioned your name specifically, and we all nodded our heads. Anytime there's talk of the club, everyone I've ever met and played in the slow jam Neil was mentioning talks with great admiration and fondness of what you and the others, but mainly you, did with and for the slow jammers, the newbies, introducing all of us to all the good stuff. Everyone I know is to this day appreciative of the effort you made, the minutes you put in, educating, demonstrating, inspiring us with all the booklets, the printouts, the binders, the CDs, endless work that you must have done, for God's sake, the chord progressions, the lyrics, the radio stuff even, teaching us all the bluegrass staples, the recommendations, and that you were never judgy when we screwed up too much, but you did when our backup was too loud, or wasn't even backup at all, or when we were overbearing for the singers or what have you. And you did it all for the love of bluegrass, and proper bluegrass, I would say. I, for one, am and will always be grateful for this. I have told many people in my own circles about how you set this up, the way you set it up, and what you've been doing for all of us all these years. I mean, what the hell is a Glaswegian doing playing bluegrass music anyway? It makes no sense. Jesus Christ, so basically, Mike, when I think about it now, you, sir, are entirely responsible for all of this. You have cost me a small fortune on instruments, countless dollars on lessons, holidays missed, endless bloody shite snark tuners which break after 2 minutes, fortune spent on CDs, downloads, trailers, tents, festival, camping gear, bourbon, and a whole lot more. You, sir, are completely to blame for the funny looks when folk go, "You played what?" You, man, you're entirely responsible for every asshole in captivity coming up and going, "ding, ding, 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 ding." You play that one? Do you know that one? The one from the movie with the pig? You, sir, are shamelessly ungiving of any shits when it comes to us now being forced to play wagon wheel or some shite that has nothing to do with bluegrass whatsoever when we're trying to learn bluegrass. Thanks, Meg. Thanks a whole lot, my friend. Thanks to you, I always get my new personal favourite from Eagle Eyes Johnston over here with the, "What are you doing, man? Look." And it's all your fault. And all for what exactly? All for what? All for the sake of hanging around with a bunch of muppets and an old Legion, sitting downstairs with a bipolar furnace on a cold Tuesday evening, screeching some high, lonesome gibberish beside the shitter door through the wintertime? What's that all about? Makes no sense, Mike. Thanks a million, man. Seriously though, I hope you're getting the rest that you need, and trust that you're surrounded by your family, and hope you're getting some joy out of that. If, however, you're not, and they're completely doing your boxing, driving you around the bend, send out the bat signal from your bedroom window. For example, a silhouette of a mandolin and a bottle of moonshine, and we'll come and pick you up. We can drop you anywhere: Huntsville, Nashville, Oakville, Bowmanville, anyville you wish. Except Louisville, Kentucky, because we called them and they said, "Mike, Kirley, man, you ain't no part of nothing." Either way, I don't know what the future holds, but I'd love to see you back here at Jim Henson's workshop with all the other Muppets. But in the meantime, rest up and take care.
I learned from the best.
At this point, I'd like to have Mike's son come up, accept this award for his dad.
Thanks a lot. This will mean a lot for my dad. I'll bring it right to him actually tonight, and I think you'd be happy to know even today my brother snuck in a guitar to the hospital, so we've got a picture of my dad with the guitar in the bed. So he always told me about the great times he had here, and this is a wonderful gift for him, so thank you.
On with the show.